Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on, and welcome to Commenting on Comments, where I comment on comments you guys left on the videos. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with our first comment. Our first comment today is brought to you by JC3279, or JCC, sorry, 3279. And they say, Adam, I just Googled that place, and that gas station in the video is long gone, but the North Star is still open in 2025. What he's referring to is the Pranking the North Star video from the Skivens Reacts. If you were curious, I was reading the Google reviews, which range from 3 stars to 5, so they must have long cleaned up their act. If you watch the video, there's one of them where like our cutlery was disgusting. Like Poo Poo Garrett's fork still had food on it. My cutlery was just completely tarnished. Nobody there had clean cutlery. We ended up like when they came over and dropped off the food, we showed them, we're like, look, like, what is this? I'm not putting this in my mouth. Like, can we get some clean cutlery? Now, yeah, it was not a good experience. So I don't know, maybe my video going up, maybe somebody saw it and was like, what the hell happened here? How did this happen? Maybe they did clean up their act, who knows? But yeah, back in 2009 there, that was not a good time. B Carbo says, I remember your vlogs in front of the stone building you worked at on night shift. Yeah, the old vlogging wall, where I used to stand in front of the white wall and just talk about what's going on and stuff. That was a long freaking time ago. There's actually a video in 2020 where I'm out fat biking and I passed by the building and I actually grabbed my GoPro off the bike and shot a clip at the vlogging wall just for nostalgia. So that was something. Aaron S says, you can tell you were hacking the darts then, out of breath. Oh my god, dude. No doubt. Like, that's the reason why I started doing jump cuts, was because all you could hear between me talking was me wheezing and, you know, trying to keep from dying. Smoking cigarettes and having asthma is not a good combination. 100% can confirm. Julian Hosking says, it's great to see your old videos. I used to watch them all back in the day. Over the years, I've wondered what happened to Adam Vlogging Life, because that's what the channel used to be called. A few days ago, I was going through my subscriptions on here and saw Skivens. I thought, hold on a minute, I have been missing your videos for years. Even though I was subscribed with notifications on. What a fool I am. It's just great to have found you again. Yeah, I rebranded back in 2020 because making a video every day was getting too rough. Like, trying to come up with ideas. And then I was like, you know, people kept calling me Skivens from the Skaven day. So let's just go that route. Let's just call the channel Skivens, and that gives me free reign to do whatever the hell I want. Mind you, on Vlogging Life, I did whatever the hell I wanted. You know, I just film, make it part of my day, and then makes it part of the video, and that was the thing. But that having to upload every freaking day was so brutal and not recommended. That, and the other problem is if you don't watch a content creator for a long time, the YouTube algorithm will think you're no longer interested, even though you're subscribed, but they won't feed you the videos in your feed as often as possible. The only way to actually get it is to click on your subscriptions and see what new content was made by subscriptions rather than viewing from the home screen. So that's where a lot of people will start noticing, like if they let's say they watch their videos, but they skip a creator like 4 or 5 times, all of a sudden that creator won't even though you're subscribed, they won't even show up on your home screen. You got to physically go to their channel and check out the content. Then once you watch a couple videos, the algorithm goes, oh, okay, you are actually interested in this person. Okay, I'll start feeding them to your home screen again. You know, such a weird setup. Clem Zed Boob Toila says, use virtual desktop to play your PC VR games wireless if you have a Wi-Fi 6 router. Then your mic and speaker will work natively. Yeah, actually, I've been doing that with virtual desktop, and that's exactly the program you're talking about. It was a little expensive. You got to buy the version. I believe you have to pay for it on Quest, and then you download the client on your computer for free. And I think it's about like 20 bucks on Quest. but I've been running my games through that, and I do really appreciate virtual desktop versus just running Steam VR natively on Wi-Fi through the wireless link, or now the wired link. And the reason why I like it is you can customize your gaming experience. You can reduce the resolution, you can lock the frames. So if you want to lock it at 90 frames instead of 120 frames, you can. You can reduce the resolution. Looks a little grainier, but it's less work for your computer to do to render the video, to send it to 3 different objects, 1 being the desktop, 2 being your left eye, and 3 being your right eye. So virtual desktop is definitely a game changer for playing PC VR games. 100%. Warren6815 says, I think Dave banning you was probably a blessing in disguise. At least you weren't directly caught up in that shitstorm after the 16:9 documentary aired. I vaguely recall the stunt with the Stratus. Did they launch it off of Sky Hill? I remember them painting Skaven, though they spelt it wrong on the side. I wonder if Ozzy misunderstood and thought it needed to be your name on the side and not DL. He did misunderstand, because I physically told him you need to put DL Auto Brokers on there and it needs to be on the video or I'm in deep caca. As for being banned from the farm, blessing in disguise, in more ways than one, because when I found out 16:9 was going to David's farm to do a documentary, honestly, that entire thing is just expose. Some of the series they've made, like they're talking about how Wi-Fi emits more radiation than your microwave and basically will cause brain tumors. They've talked about, like, they've done some seriously over the top videos where I don't know where they got their source information from, but judging by what they were producing for content, I knew 16:9 was going to be the group to basically take that farm down. I knew it 100% because I knew what kind of content they created. And I obviously Dave wouldn't listen to me because as far as he was concerned, Rickam and I were going to buy Sky Hill. I told Bloke flat out, because he was the only one I had contact with. I'm like, whatever you do not go to the farm on that day, bud. Do not go to the farm. Stay away. I'm like, go on YouTube, look up 16:9, go watch some of the stuff they make, and you'll see why I'm saying stay the frig away from that place. But he's like, oh no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They're under Google. They're under Global TV, and Global wouldn't do that. And they're really praising the farm being like Canada's Wonderland and stuff, and I'm like, I'm telling you, bud, it's not a good idea, but you do you and let me know how it goes, and I guess we'll wait for the show to come out on TV, and because that was aired nationally on cable TV, so everybody saw this show. Anybody who tuned in saw exactly what it was. Now, if I was not banned and Dave and I were on talking terms, I would have went to him and said, bro, I don't recommend you do this because this will be really, really bad PR stunt. I probably would have tried to protect him in kind of a way to keep him from going on there, because like the opening lines, I looked it up on YouTube. It's there, 16:9 on YouTube. I was thinking about doing a Skivens Reacts to it, but I don't know what the terms of service are on that, because number one, Global TV is like a giant freaking corporation, and I'm just some guy sitting in a room talking to a camera on a webcam. So yeah. As for the stunt with the Stratus, they didn't launch it off the top of Sky Hill. They launched it off a cliffside with a steep drop. They put like a cinder block on the gas pedal, fired the car up, let it bounce off the rev limiter, and then had a string coming out the back window that they could pull to engage the from neutral to drive, so it would just tear off and go. But yeah, blessing in disguise, yes and no. Definitely by me not being able to have a conversation with Dave, it set him up for his greatest downfall, but there was some stuff that happened from that was kind of brutal. Frank Bullet 390 says, all Dave's stuff is still on here under a few different decade-old archive channels. Yeah, there was a lot of people who download his content and re-upload it, and Dave wasn't really great at basically claiming copyrights. He just didn't care because they would upload it, but because his already got all the views, nobody really noticed. But now those guys are making, well, I don't even know if they're making views on it. The channel is kind of like it used to be. He used to have a great following, you know, 100,000 subscribers back in the day. That was pretty impressive back in 2009, 2010. That was very, very impressive. But now it's like, and saying this from like a 15,000 subscriber channel, the more people that have moved to YouTube now than back then, if you're good at creating content, you could 10 times that number. And you see it on YouTube, the content creators that just blow up overnight. You see them gaining like 50,000 subscribers a day because they're making top tier content, unlike me. So I get it, but they're also looking to do this as a career, so good on them. But there's a way better chance now, if you can create good quality content, that you'll generate a lot more subscribers. But back then, Dave was filming with a freaking camera from like 1968 and literally copying the tapes to his computer in digital content at a real whacked out resolution, grainy video. It was really bad, but it's all he knew. So nowadays, that video standard doesn't hold up. 2CV Bloke says, as for your USB card dreams, you can get a PCIe extender, basically a PCB that sticks out of the slots connected to that flat flex with a PCI slot on the other end, and then you can stick it down under thick ass cards like that and make use of covered slots, so you can have said card, just need that extension. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about with those extenders. I forgot they existed, and I don't know why I forgot they existed, because when I was doing the idea of building an open chassis mining rig, you need to buy PCI Express 16s ribbon cable extenders to basically run them off the PCIe 1X ports, to go from the 1X ports on your board to locations to mount your video cards. And the video cards got to be spaced out a certain amount to allow proper airflows for ventilation, because you're literally running these cards full tilt like a Peterbilt all day, every day, and they got to be vented. They got to be able to stay cool. They got to be able to run good. So no, I forgot about PCIe extenders. I might go that route. I might actually go that route. 89 Thunder Chunky says, dramas aside, David's farm was amazing to watch. Learned a lot of mechanics from then. You know what? I will agree. And it was even more amazing to go there because, like, if you think about it, if I never went there, I wouldn't know Crazy British Bloke. Him and I wouldn't be friends how we are today. I wouldn't be going down there and hanging out and fishing with him and all that and just having a good old time. And it wouldn't be like that. And, you know, they're saying multiverses exist, and I'd like to see a multiverse where I didn't go to the farm and how I turned out. Or if I would have gotten into YouTube, for that matter, if there was no David's farm for me to watch, because literally that's what got me interested in making content. But I knew there was nothing I could do to keep up with a guy who's welding, who's taking a Cavalier and making it drivable from above him and in front of the hood, and a guy who's like modifying all these cars inside of a shop. I knew I couldn't do that with my current skill level, so I didn't know what to do with a YouTube channel. If I would have never went to my friend Troy's shop that night and then him show us the videos of the redneck roller coaster and the Ford Astro van. Was it an Astro van? I think it was an Astro van with the big the pull seat on it. And then there was another one where he had mounted a giant beam onto the front bucket of his skid steer, and he was like stabbing cars with it and stuff. I probably wouldn't have ever realized that David's Farm was a YouTube thing, because back then all I ever watched was like Ray William Johnson, a couple other videos on YouTube, Jack's Films, I Justine, like all the Shay Carl. No, I never watched Shay Carl. Never got into him till later on, and that's when I started doing the vlogging, because he dropped a video saying, if you think vlogging's so easy, I challenge you to a 30-day challenge. Do it for 30 days, and you tell me how easy it was. So then I was like, okay. So I started doing that on the Skaven channel, and I was like, wait, this is kind of fun. I think I need to rebrand. So I opened up the Vloggin' Life channel, and then for like 2,600 plus days, I went straight just daily making a video and uploading it. And then later on, the comments were getting so crazy that I was literally like, 9 a.m. is the vlog and 5 p.m. is commenting comments every freaking day. Plus I was making video game content for Skaven Games. Plus I was holding down a 9-to-5 job. So you understand how I got burnt out, right? GRJR 1979 says, did you stay in contact with those guys? Now, this is from the farm video when we drove down and the car got broken and all that. I don't know which guys you're referring to. Like, I'm still in contact with Crazy British Bloke, Rex 4x4, and Poo Poo Garrett. I knew them before YouTube. Like, I've known them before YouTube was a thing. I think Garrett was making content. I didn't know. I didn't even know what YouTube was. Like, it wasn't until 2008 that I realized what YouTube was. And I didn't have any interest then in making content because I was like, oh, this stuff's fun to watch, but it looks like a lot of work and I don't know how to video edit and blah, blah, blah. So I had to teach myself how to anyway, if you're talking about Rex and Poo Poo Garrett, I've known those guys forever. If you're talking about like Dave, Rick, Bloke, and the other chaps that you saw on the video, like Where's Bobby? Where's Bobby and I chat on Facebook from time to time, and he did come out fishing with us. His life is a lot more changed now than it was back then. He's like married with kids, so he could only come out fishing with us the one day for a couple hours because he had responsibilities at home. As you know, if you are married with kids, you have responsibilities, mainly keeping the wife happy and keeping the kids, you know, from doing something that would get them injured. Bloke is the main one that I still talk to. I don't really talk to Rickham much anymore. He doesn't respond to his Facebook DMs or anything. He just does his own thing, so that's fine. But yeah, that's about all I talk to out of the group is just from the David's Farm group, excluding Rex 4x4 and Poo Poo Garrett, because they were not really part of that group. They came down the one time and that was it. Rex just really wanted to go once to say he went, and same with, and Garrett just wanted to go as well, just go down and hang out, because he saw the videos that I was making there and he said it looked fun. But as far as the guys that were at the farm, I mainly keep in contact with Bloke, and that's about it. Phil 2200 says, I'm surprised you didn't make your own juice. What he's referring to is the vape juice that on the video when I went and bought vape juice. The reason why I don't make my own juice is because the government has introduced this new excise tax in Canada. Basically, a 60 ml bottle of juice that used to be $35 is now close to $60 because the government is taxing the crap out of it. They've also put a heavy ban in Canada on DIY juice making. In order for me to do it, I would have to, like all the companies that I had before when I used to make my own juice, they're either out of business or they rebranded and I can't find them, because to buy the nicotine that I would need to add to it, to buy the vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol that I need to mix the base and the flavoring, I can find some stuff for the flavoring and the base, but I can't find nicotine anywhere. So that's not gonna work. So that's the reason why and it's a hassle. It's a hassle to mix your own stuff. I'm at that point now where it's just like, you know what, I'll pay the couple extra bucks and just buy a freaking bottle of juice. But I found a couple of shops online that offer deals. Like if you buy like 6 or more, you get like 30% off and stuff. It ends up saving you a lot of money in the long run when you go that route versus going to one of the brick and mortars here in town and buying a bottle. So that works out for me. Zion M109 says, does the mic in this video have a proper does the mic in this video still have the wrapper on it? It looks shiny. Wait, do you have plastic covers on your couch? Do you have the lampshade covers on after purchase? Dude, okay, he's referring to the DJI mic. See how shiny it is? That's just the plastic. There's nothing covering that. It's a shiny plastic and it's transparent. You can see the microchips and shit underneath. There's no plastic covering the mic. I took that off right away because if you don't, you can't plug it into USB to charge the mic to begin with. So as far as having plastic covers on my couch, bro, I don't even own a couch. My living room has gym equipment. I guess you're a first-time viewer. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody starts somewhere. But yeah, I don't have plastic cover on the mic or my non-existent couch or my non-existent lamps. Yeah, I don't even have those traditional lamps with a shade. I don't think I have one in this house. No, I don't. I really don't. I gave the lamps away to a friend because I installed ceiling lighting downstairs. And up here, I just have this pole lamp that's on its last legs because I keep punching it in VR. Fun times. The Shaggy Man's VR says, okay, man, Dragon Fist VR is a game you should check out. You'll have a blast if you like stand-up fighting like Mortal Kombat VR. Yeah, I've been watching, actually, I bought the game. I have the game. I haven't tried it yet, but I watched, was it a Wolf in VR on YouTube who did a video on that? I can't remember now. But that's how I found Battle Talent, was through his channel. I'm pretty sure that's how I found Dragon Fist. That game is insane. That game is very insane. I need more play space to really get into something like that, because like I've already playing Battle Talent and Blades and Sorcery and VR Club Simulator and Bar Fight. I'm punching too much real life stuff in the virtual world. Like I don't have enough room in here, which is the reason why I talked about building a new desk for this room where I can push things back into the wall, not have so much shit on the side walls. It would open up more space for VR. Then if I wanted to, like this Dragon Fist game supports full body tracking, which is pretty cool. So like you can throw kicks, you can throw punches, you can throw roundhouses, and they're effective in VR. You know, you can, buddy comes to like sweep the leg and you can jump over top of his foot. Block, you know, as they're coming in with the haymakers. They come in with the haymakers, comes in for the jab. You can hands up and get into guard and then start throwing out there. No, it's a very cool game. I bought it, I installed it. I haven't gotten around to playing it, and I might give that one a go after work. Actually, I might just bring that right on the headset right to coach and be like, put on the headset and go beat this guy up just to see what he does. That could be fun. Anyway, guys, definitely a good game. Go look it up on YouTube. You'll see what it is. It's pretty dope. Total Faith Production says, welcome to technology. Get another one and get the insurance on it and you're good to go. DJI offers a 1-year warranty on this thing. If it lasts a year, it's paid for itself. As far as welcome to technology, bro, I work in IT. I know exactly how technology is. You get some pieces of equipment that are amazing and you get others that are faulty by the time they hit the cellophane wrapper. It's just, stuff is built cheap nowadays. It's a given, right? Like, all it takes is one cold solder or one short in the machine, and I think that's what it was, because God, did that old friggin' DJI get hot. It worked great until it didn't. That's one thing I'll stand by. I don't know how the hell this camera would hold up in the summer months when the sun's beating down and the chassis is black. And we all know that's a problem with the GoPros, right? Because they put them in a black chassis and you're wearing them on your chest and you're in the sunlight. Like you're out there doing, like for me, for instance, fishing videos. I'll be out there doing a fishing video and all of a sudden I get bing, 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 your camera's overheating. Now, if I had it in the waterproof case, I'd probably just dunk it in the lake. Oh, not in the waterproof case, sorry, in waterproof mode where I have the right door on the side where no water could seep in. I'd probably just dump it in the lake and let it power cool. Probably cause every single solder on the board to like explode, but yeah. The fact that they chose black for the plastic material is not good. DJI did make the Osmos Pocket 2 in white, which I wish they did the same with the Pocket 3, unless they did and it's just not available in North America. I don't know. 2CV Bloke says, well, that's pretty poor form for the new camera to fail so soon, but DJI's not always been the most reliable. Even if they do produce some decent footage, it seems they're pretty much single-use products, much like the old disposable film cameras I mentioned previously. See, and my Pocket 1 is, I bought that secondhand, mind you. Like my buddy bought it to do snowboarding videos, and then he shot a couple and was like, he's uploading it, and for some reason he looked something up and he realized, holy shit, this camera's not even waterproof. If I would have taken a dive, this would have been destroyed. And I'm thinking, bro, if you would have taken a dive, it would have been destroyed anyway. You got a moving gimbal on the frickin' thing. Of course it wouldn't have survived. But yeah, it's not waterproof out of the box. You can buy a thing that you can slap on top of it where the gimbal can still rotate freely and all that, and it's enclosed and waterproof. But in its natural form out of the case, it's not waterproof. For it to fail so soon, once again, you know, these things are manufactured so rapidly, they are cheaply made, and they get the job done. So that's the world we live in now. Everything is made super cheap, but the quality is there. So they can boast. Zambitaber 1394 says, you have officially run out of ideas. Sorry, bud. This is dull as dishwasher, longtime viewer. And you know what? You're right. I have officially run out of ideas. Want to know why? It's winter. It's freaking winter time. Winter time for me is not my favorite time of the year. I can't do anything in the winter except for play video games and work. My battle plan last year was to try and generate as many videos as possible so that I could push all the way through till March without having to pick up a camera and make it look like in Canada it was summertime all year round. Why? Because I don't do anything in the winter, and I'm like literally like trying to come up with ideas to talk about, but there's certain subjects I can't touch on due to personal reasons. I don't need to get into it, that's fine. But like, and there's certain things you just don't talk about on YouTube, such as, and there's a lot of people who do, but that's fine. It's a good way to segregate your audience. Number one, you don't talk about religion. Number two, you don't talk about politics. So with all the political shit going on in the world right now, with, you know, in the US, Trump's already inaugurated, but at the time of this recording, or actually, is he inaugurated by the time this goes live? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that happens next Tuesday. Is it on the 20th or the 21st? I think it's on the 20th when he gets inaugurated. So next Monday. You know, there's a whole bunch of videos going online about that. There's a bunch of videos going on about the political nonsense happening in Canada. And I just never really talked about that stuff before because I just don't need to cause comment wars. And there's enough people covering that I just don't have to. But yeah, I have run out of ideas because it's freaking winter time. I don't know what to do with myself in the winter. Like ice fishing, I find is boring because number one, you got to walk out super far on the ice with a like 60 to 100 pound sled strapped to you, set up a tent in the wind because you have no trees blocking the wind now, rip some holes, get set up, and then you just sit there and jig. Like, and then if you want to move locations, you got to tear everything down, back into the sled, move locations, rinse and repeat. I don't know. And with the condition of the ice, with all the pressure cracks forming on it, I'm really not interested in going out there to catch one perch and potentially get stranded on a ice island. That just doesn't seem fun to me. The Universal Eyes says, Dodge Stratus. That's literally one car I've never seen on the road anymore. I also forgot the name. I think 99% of them are in junkyards now. You know what's another car that I don't see on the road is like the big brother to the Stratus, the Dodge Intrepid. I believe the Stratus was replaced by the Avenger and the Intrepid became the Charger. I could be wrong on that, but if any Mopar guys are in the audience, you can confirm it. But yeah, you don't see the Stratus on the roads anymore. You don't see the Intrepids on the roads anymore. It seems to be now all I see out there are the Chrysler 200, the Chrysler 300, the Dodge Charger, trying to think, and lots of Dodge Caravans. Like, they are the leading van manufacturer in North America. If you're pumping out babies, you probably drive a Caravan. Just saying. Like, that's like the soccer mom car of all times. And to think, I almost wanted to buy one of those back in the day, but my intentions were more or less van camping versus having a litter of kids. Justin4N6 says, hopefully the DJI doesn't have the issue with the screen malfunction. I finally got a new phone. Besides no security updates, busted the screen on my LG, so it was time to replace. Went to the Samsung Z Fold 6, wanted to get the Pixel Fold, but my carrier isn't getting the newest one. See, I was thinking about also getting the at Best Buy because I always just buy my phones unlocked. I don't go through the actual phone carrier because a lot of the time, I don't like the new policy on phone carrier phones where you pay over 2 years, you pay a set amount and you're renting the phone. And then on the second year, if the phone is in pristine condition, you can trade it in for another phone and then carry on with paying a subsidy bill. Or if you've cracked or damaged the phone, you got to buy it outright from them at like $500 on top of what you just paid for 2 years to rent the phone. I'd rather just own the damn thing and be done with it. And I'd rather have a phone that would last me longer than 4 years because I'm not hard on my equipment. So like my S20, if it still had 3 more years of service, I bet you I could have rolled that phone right till like freaking 2028, no problems. My only issue why I didn't go with the Pixel Fold or whatever the heck they call theirs is when I saw that people weren't paying attention to the rules of the Fold. If it's really cold outside, don't try and open it, don't try and close it, because you will snap it. To me, it's nice to have that tablet size form factor if you need it in your life, day-to-day life. I don't need it in my day-to-day life, so I was like, no, this is just a commodity that I'd probably never use. The phone would just stay folded up in candy bar mode the whole time, except for if I needed the tablet for something, but it just felt like an extra component that would break. So that, and the new Pixel Fold apparently is using the old technology from the Google Pixel 8, not the 9 processor and all that. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get the Google Pixel 9. The one thing I didn't like about the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE 5G was its size. I found it was kind of big and clunky. When I wanted to use the phone on my DJI drone, it didn't quite sit in there right, so I ended up using the Galaxy S8 for the drone because the Galaxy S8 would fit in the holders fine, no problem. For the S20, I'd have to take it out of the case and run it with no case on it into the device. My Pixel 9 Pro fits in the drone, no problem. So that's why I did what I did. I wanted a smaller phone. I didn't need XL. I don't need all that screen real estate. Jessica 2379 says, I have the same camera Rex is using, the old Insignia. It was good for its time. I love the light it came with. Used it for quite a few family trips. Yeah, Rex, I don't even know if he still has that camera, but Rex used that camera for pretty much everything. He didn't really have a GoPro at the time. We went to an indie go-kart track, and I think it was Barrie, could have been Toronto, somewhere around there anyway. And for me, I had my GoPro that clipped onto my motocross helmet, but Rex literally like friggin' duct tape his camera to his head. Like he just like holds it there, you know, puts the tape on it, and that was his POV cam. Hey man, if it works, it works, right? But he had that set up. Yeah, he used that camera from like, God, he used that camera a lot. Yes, he did. I don't even know if he still has it. It's probably, I'm gonna say the camera's probably broken by now, probably doesn't hold a charge. I don't know if those had removable batteries, if the battery was built in. I never bothered getting one myself. I decided to go the camcorder route versus the pistol grip route, even though I do own one pistol grip camera, and that's a Sanyo. But yeah, now they were affordable cameras too for 720p, I believe is what they shot in. Could be 1080, I can't remember now. Cutlass Rudd says, sorry about that. Cutlass Rudd says, only -14. Here I am, Southern California, under the covers with the heat on at 11 Celsius because it's 25 Celsius during the day. Yes, I know North Bay. I lived just south of there for years. Snowbirding now to warmer temps, but it's not tropical down here. Oh, well, I don't know, 25C is great. 11C is amazing. I have no problems with 11C. It's just, I find it so funny up here. It's like, when it's summertime and it's 10 degrees Celsius outside, I see people at work with hoodies on at 10 degrees Celsius, and I'm like, what the hell? But then it's like winter and it's -5 out, and you see girls wearing like short skirts, the same ones that I saw wearing hoodies, and I'm just like, what's the logic? It's like when it's super cold, anything in the single minus digits is not so bad. When it's super warm, anything close to the single minus digits is a pain in the arse. It's so funny. But no, 25C during the day, that's beautiful. I'd totally be happy with that. Frank Bullet 390 says, I've been to the little campground on the main drag in Exeter. It's $5 to camp. Every small town should have those, and I agree. Pulls in tourists that would otherwise drive right past. And honestly, what he's referring to is the video, one of the Skivens Reacts, where Rickham, myself, and Where's Bobby go driving around Exeter looking for junk cars to see if we can scoop them up and then bring them back to the farm and beat the living hell out of them. So yeah. We came across a campground, and Rickham was like, that's a campground? I didn't even know it was a campground. And it's one of those, it's like a $5 campground. Whether or not it's still that due to you know, the pandemic, inflation and all that bullshit, that's to be, I don't know. The video went up like what, freaking 15, 16 years ago. So it's really hard to say if they've inflated the price, but It'd be really nice, like if every small town or every town had a spot ran and managed by the city where you could camp per day for $5 or something like that. It'd be great, like just to take my truck and go somewhere and then just post up for the night, sleep in the back, jump in it and carry on with my drive the next day. Mind you, they have Walmarts, but because Walmarts you can pretty much camp in their parking lots. Same with a lot of the home hardwares around Canada and Canadian Tire as well. You can just camp in the lot and they don't care. As long as you're not taking up like the front. They want you to move more towards the back of the lot to camp, which makes sense. Save the front for the customers. I think the other problem is with the amount of homelessness we have right now across Canada in all cities, having a campground like this would quickly turn into a tent city. And that would be a problem if some weary traveler were to come into town, go there, pay $5, and then start getting harassed by homeless people. I don't think that'd be good for tourism. And guys, that is all we got for commenting on comments this week. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.